Welcome everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of my video last night that brought to attention some areas which might be missing within police psych exams and evaluations. I have put together, like I suggested, the highly sensitive adult test for police. I actually was able to reformat it to fit the police duties. But I'm going to read this with you. I started this petition on change.org, and you can sign it. And this is what it says. It is time to reform the police along with other social systems within America because the collective consciousness is awakening. Since detective psychics are tools recognized and used within the police system to solve crimes, we need to start to employ officers who have empathic, psychic abilities to read situations more accurately while servicing the public. There is a test developed by Dr. Elaine Aron called the highly sensitive person that is being used within psychology to determine acute sensory awareness. The ability to sense things is a more finely tuned manner, or in a more finely tuned manner, as it evidenced through her breakthrough work, can be extremely helpful, creating a highly intelligent and sensitive police force. This combination of empathic skills, extrasensory ability, and physical strength to protect civilians will create a powerful system aligned to the values of the majority of people who are dissatisfied with the police system based on wrong personalities hired for the job to serve and protect. If you want to see a more higher aware police force that knows how to de-escalate situations, as well as serve and protect while engaging the intuitive mind or extrasensory abilities, then sign this. The test Dr. Aron provides on the website here that you can find on hsperson.com should be reformulated to fit the police academy needs for future police and detectives. Here is an example of the reformat to fit police duties and abilities that may be used. Let this petition work to mandate adding this element of testing to police psychology evaluation exams. Let this be the seed to employ those with higher awareness within all social systems for the future. And I'm going to read to you what I have come up with. This is a reformatted, highly sensitive adult test for police psych exam evaluations. So what I did was I took the actual test by Dr. Elaine Aron and I just reworded it to fit the police duties. That if you can picture a policeman having these types of attributes or skills or abilities in the way that they experience their own life, and you think that that might be something good to have, because you are out there in the public, you are serving the public, you're protecting them, you're trying to enforce law, and you really should be a de-escalator of other people's emotions around you so that you can actually help stop crime. So this is what I put. I seem to be aware of slight changes or subtleties in my surrounding environment. I can sense other people's moods and feelings within myself. I tend to be very sensitive to bodily pain or either have a very high threshold for it. Now, this is interesting because a highly sensitive person can feel an intense feeling within their body because their senses are heightened, but yet they also can have a very high threshold for pain too, because of an emotional awareness or an empathy factor where they don't want to be a burden on others. So they learn to actually endure pain that way, and it becomes a very strong strength within the highly sensitive person. I find myself enjoying being alone with my own thoughts and would consider myself a reflective person. I think that it's important for police to be reflective, because reflective is the ability to think before acting. And when you cultivate that attribute, you make less mistakes, less immediate responses that are more emotionally based rather than actually logically or rationally thought out first. I am particularly sensitive to the effects of caffeine and sugars. This is also good because it just means that you have a very heightened sense of awareness within your body. I experience my surroundings strongly within my body, like bright lights, strong smells, coarse fabrics, or sirens close by. I have a rich and complex inner life. I think that would be important for a police officer so that they're more well-rounded as personalities who are guardians within our nation. Soft noises can appear as loud noises to me. So if you have a heightened sensory experience, you can actually perceive soft noises at a higher decibel. And so you actually you can seek out danger, you can be cautious of danger and be more aware and alert when it is needed. So you have a heightened sensory experience of sound. I am deeply moved by the arts or music. I think that this has a lot to do with your ability to empathize and be emotionally in touch with yourself as well as others. My nervous system sometimes feels so alive and awake inside that I just have to go off by myself to relax at times. Now, this might be something that police might be afraid to put because they don't want to say that they need time away to relax. But what this could do is show that you are somebody that actually is very much alive inside and experiences things on a heightened level. So you're very aware, you're highly perceptive of your connection with each other. I am conscientious and aware of others. This is extremely important for police to be conscientious and aware of others. And I'm not saying here that police are not, but this should be added to the psychology exam and in a very more detailed way, and maybe not so just true and false, but allow some spaces for them to write out their thoughts. And I think that that is how we can start to employ police officers that are more well-rounded in their personality, that can handle being out in the public, dealing with life and death situations. I am aware of distant noises and sights before others seem to notice them. Once again, a highly attuned sensory experience. You notice things before others may, and you are the one that would be needed in the police force or as a detective, because you need to be very aware of your surroundings and to be able to know how to solve situations before they happen. Almost have almost like a foresight into things. When people are uncomfortable in a physical environment, I tend to know what needs to be done to make it more comfortable, like changing the lighting or the seating. There are studies to show that when people are being interrogated by police at the stations and they're suspects for crimes, that it is actually more successful for a police officer to get into the mind of the suspect and to understand them emotionally. Not manipulate, but to understand them, to get to the truth, whether they committed a crime, either they're remorseful about it or they're not. But you are trying to get to the actual emotional truth of a person that is right in front of you as a suspect. You're not trying to intimidate them into signing a confession, which has actually led to wrongful convictions and people taking plea bargains and things like that of crimes that they did not commit. And we are seeing that with these innocent projects that are coming out, where lawyers are working for free to get people that have been convicted wrongly of crimes out of prison. And in order to get to a more accurate place of law, we need to get to the emotional center of our suspects. So I think that it would be very good for a police officer to be aware how to make people more comfortable and how to adjust themselves during the questioning and interrogation processes. And also, just going to houses and asking questions before you arrest somebody. Very important to get into the mind of the person that you are trying to really get the truth from. I have an ability for intense focus on the moment and look at all details within it. So highly sensitive people have this ability where they might not be able to spread their concentration everywhere, but they can be very focused. If they have a task to do, they'll be very focused on that task, and they notice all the details within that task that is set before them. So it's a little bit of opposite of hyper deficit disorder, or those with AHD, where they can't focus on one thing. This is actually the opposite. You can actually really intensely focus. So I think that would be very good for a detective or a police officer to have. I try hard to avoid making mistakes or forgetting things. Wouldn't that be great, right? Avoid making mistakes like putting your knee on somebody's neck while trying to hold them down, as George Floyd actually died of asphyxiation and strangulation. And this is something that should never have been done. A knee on the neck is never a good idea. So it's about avoiding making mistakes, being very conscientious of yourself, and forgetting less things that you learn. I make a point to avoid violent movies and TV shows. I enjoy other calmer forms of stimulation for the mind. I think it's important that we don't have police officers that are constantly looking for violence and aggression, and they're not seeking that type of stimulation within their life, but they might actually have another side to them where they actually enjoy more calmer forms of stimulation, whether it be meditation, walking in nature, they can put that down. And then the interviewer can actually see that this is more of a well-rounded person that's not seeking a life full of violence or a way to punish others, which is a lot of times many police officers do go into this profession because they think that it really is about kind of satisfying that need. And although there are police officers that are not, I think that this needs to be an ability that all police officers should have, is to be able to enjoy more calmer forms of stimulation in life. I can become highly aware and alert when a lot is going on around me. So this is great because, you're really sensitive to things around you. So you become very highly alert and alerted within your body when there's multiple things happening. And you can solve situations that way by looking at things and connecting them together and understanding what needs to be done at that moment. Being very hungry creates a strong reaction in me, disrupting my concentration or mood. I mean, I guess this can be seen as, don't go out on a job with an empty stomach, but at the same time, it's more about your sensory experience within your body. Are you deeply affected by things? And, is your sensory experience of living your life, is it at a heightened level? Changes in my life can shake me up and cause heightened experiences felt within. I notice and enjoy delicate or fine scents, tastes, sounds, works of art. And I just want to go back to changes in my life can shake me up. Now, that is not something that causes people to freeze up if they're highly sensitive, but that they feel it very deeply, and it causes a heightened experience of whether learning from that moment, and connecting things together within that learning experience. You have a very heightened experience within life, and you're aware of it. You know what these moments mean to you. I notice and enjoy delicate or fine scents, taste, sounds, works of art. I think that this calls to a more well-rounded person that is able to appreciate the finer things in life, the more delicate details. They don't have to be hit over the head to appreciate something, but they can actually appreciate the simple things. And this goes into noticing those small details that others may not. Very good for detective work and police officer work. I make it a high priority to arrange my life to avoid upsetting or overwhelming situations. I find unique ways to resolve conflicts. Now, because a highly sensitive person can be overstimulated, they learn to adapt, where they learn how to, like I said, de-escalate the situation in front of them. They learn how to find unique, creative ways that either they can emotionally connect to somebody and resolve conflicts, or unique ways for themselves to let go of maybe their ego, to let go of their authoritative nature and to back off. There are unique ways that highly sensitive people learn how to resolve conflict, because you do not like conflict so much. And I know that this seems opposite of what police work is about, but it's actually not, because the job of a police is actually to de-escalate the situation and resolve conflicts, not just law enforce and punishment. But there's another element to it. Can someone be brought down from a heightened emotion before they shoot their gun at someone? This is a very, life or death situation, and you need those that actually can calm other people down, find unique ways of resolving those conflicts. I am acutely aware and feel it within my body of intense stimuli like loud noises or chaotic scenes. This is all about the extrasensory ability within yourself and, being able to perceive these things on a heightened level. When I must compete or be observed while performing a task, I become so self-aware that I do much worse than I would otherwise when on my own, because I am aware of all the details of the observer watching me. So this is very true. If you are a highly perceptive person, a highly sensitive person, you are aware of yourself being observed by others. So you're highly self-aware and self-conscious. Now, it's not about necessarily being full of low self-esteem or thinking that you're going to fail. It is more about just being aware of the way that the observer is looking at you. And so it could make you nervous, but it also might motivate you too. But I think that it's important because it shows that you do care about what others around you are experiencing. So as a police officer, that would be very good to be able to not only be aware of the self, but be aware and observant of others around in your immediate environment. When I was a child, my parents or teachers seemed to see me as sensitive or shy, but noticed my strength to deal with the emotional pains of others and myself. So there is this inner strength, and it's called like a quiet power of those that are sensitive, because they are very observant. They have learned how to master this ability to listen more carefully, to observe others, and to know how to solve problems that are related to emotions, because they are so self-aware. So then because they're so self-aware, they're also aware of others. And so I am trying to push this as an added element to the police psych evaluation exams needed to become a police officer now, or detective, for a highly perceptive and sensitive police force to be able to de-escalate events and creatively solve situations as highly attuned individuals now. And I really think that this is part of the new earth and what many people are wanting and want to experience. I know I am tired of unaware, unperceptive police officers making mistakes. I have met them. I have also met very aware and very perceptive police officers. So we need to find a way to make the police force more aligned and in harmony, where we actually employ these perceptive police officers, these self-reflective, self-aware police officers in charge of taking care of the public and stopping crime, and make sure that that's our army, that's our police force for this nation. And hopefully it's something that spreads around the world. And this is how we get this advanced world, because we don't have these civil wars between the law enforcement and the people, because the people are awakening, so the law enforcements now have to as well. And so this is what I can offer, and I have helped to reformat. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and if you agreed with me and you feel very strongly that this would be great for the future for police reform, then you can sign my petition that you will find in the link below. And I hope to see you all on the next video.